I hereby call the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission meeting to order on Thursday, August 22nd, 2024 at 5:39. I forgot to do my gavel. Recording secretary, can you please conduct roll call?
Yes, Commissioner Diaz.
Here.
Commissioner Jogway.
Here.
Commissioner Nelson.
Here.
Commissioner Reyes.
Here.
Commissioner Wu.
Here.
Vice Chair Torres.
Here.
Chairperson Herrera.
Here.
Records show we have 7 members present. We have a quorum.
Thank you so much, recording secretary. The next on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Can you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. Thank you all for coming to our Parks and Recs and Community Services Commission. The next thing on the agenda that we have for today are our commissioners for the commission to announce the employees of the month. Can we have Commissioner Reyes? Would you like to read the first employee of the month?
Yes. This nomination is for Miguel Montes. He is a full-time employee. He's been with the city 3 years, and his position is program coordinator. His supervisor is America Robledo. Miguel Montes was nominated for Employee of the Month for a variety of reasons. Mr. Montes generally displays a positive attitude and maintains a positive outlook even during challenging times, and motivates those around him. His ability to take initiative when identifying problems is to be commended. He's a great leader with a strong belief in teamwork. He collaborates well with his colleagues and contributes to a positive work environment. Miguel is reliable and always shows up early and ready to put in a hard day's work. He meets deadlines and follows through on commitments. He's also extremely adaptable and is willing to adjust to all situations without expressing frustration. Mr. Montes is always willing to make himself available to assist any patron that needs assistance. He's patient and willing to listen and provides great customer service. He is polite, respectful, and provides friendly interactions that make patrons feel valued. He is willing to tailor his interactions to meet the customer's needs and comfort levels. For the above mentioned reasons, I nominate Miguel Montes for Employee of the Month. Congratulations.
Commissioner Nelson, would you like to read the next employee of the month?
Mike, I'm gonna bad up the last name, Kahara. Mike, or Saint Mike, as zoo staff call him, embodies a spirit of willingness to help. While Mike is always making zoo improvements, some recent highlights include beautifying the zoo's big yellow chair, selecting and installing an outdoor sink, consulting on installation of hand washing station in the farm, and beautifying and making alligator pond safe construction area. He prevented water loss by repairing a sudden and urgently leaking pipe. He comes in on his days off to help finish urgent projects. He stays late to visit with zoo assist with zoo events. He brainstorms ideas for projects and improvements on his time off and is always thinking of ways to make life at the zoo better. His level of care for the zoo is mirrored in his love of animals. He has taken wildlife and wetlands and wildfire care centers, rescue baby skunks. If there's a problem, people ask Mike because he's always willing to come and help with the solution. We are so appreciative of his ongoing service. Thank you, Mike.
Great work, Mike. I'd like to, Commissioner Wu, would you like to read the next employee of the month from the commission?
Yes.
I would like to have the employee of the month. She's a part-time employee, but still very important. Teresa Munoz. She's a seasonal program leader. Teresa has not only exhibited extraordinary compassion and care for our campers, but also a mentorship to her fellow summer co-workers by providing experience advice, working with them and facilitating activities and games, and providing a calm presence during the most intense time in summer splash day camp. Teresa is an example of why campers come back to camp at Jerome Park because of her mentorship and support she provided to each and every camper. Thank you very much, Teresa, for your compassion and help.
Commissioner Zacarías Torres, would you like to read the next employee of the month?
David Lopez Portillo has been working with the city for the last 10 months. He is an education specialist full-time with the zoo. David is an integral part of the education team at the Santa Ana Zoo and Santiago Creek Eco Center. Since joining the team, he has shared his culture and strong connections to the local community, helping to make educational programs more relevant and inclusive of our local residents. He has jumped into the innovation of the Eco Center, of the renovation of the Eco Center, reaching out to community resources and advocating for the inclusion of more voices to make the center a true point of connection between the community and nature. Most notably, David collected resources to include Nahuatl language spoken by many Santa Ana residents and local indigenous peoples in all graphic signage throughout the Eco Center. He is showing great initiative in the renovation of the Eco Center itself as a contact for contractors. All this while still creating and providing new, exciting educational programs for the community. Thank you, David, for your service at the Zoo and Eco Center.
Thank you, David. I know Amber was previously recognized, and so much great work going into the Eco Center. And thank you, staff, for recognizing. The next employee of the month we have is for, I believe they're in the audience, Sylvester Bastillo Chamu. It's always great to have employees be present during the recognitions. Yeah, so.
Front and center.
Sylvester is a general maintenance worker. He's been with the city for 2 years. The Public Works Department proudly recognizes Sylvester as Employee of the Month. Sylvester's hard work, humility, and go-getter attitude have made an invaluable impact on the team and the community. Sylvester consistently demonstrates an exceptional work ethic, whether it's early mornings, late evenings, or on the weekends. Sylvester is always ready to go the extra mile to ensure our parks are in top condition. Despite his expertise and significant contributions, Sylvester remains humble and always puts the team first. His willingness to assist colleagues and share his knowledge exemplifies true team spirit. Sylvester's go-getter attitude is evident in his proactive approach to his work. He's often the first to jump into a trench or tackle challenging tasks, ensuring that the jobs are completed efficiently and effectively. His extensive knowledge and expertise in irrigation have been instrumental in keeping our parks green and thriving. And his ability to troubleshoot and implement effective irrigation solutions is a testament to his skills and their crucial role in maintaining our beautiful park landscapes. Sylvester prioritizes safety in all tasks, ensuring the parks and his colleagues are protected. His meticulous attention to detail helps create a safe and enjoyable environment for all park visitors. His contributions are vital to our mission of providing well-maintained, green, safe parks for the community. His hard work and dedication inspire us all. Thank you, Sylvester, from the city for your unwavering commitment and outstanding efforts. We are truly honored to have you on the team and celebrate your well-deserved recognition of the Employee of the Month. Yeah, thank you.
You want to take a picture? We're gonna start taking pictures now. So, yeah. Come on down. Can you get them all? Yeah. You wanna, first he's gonna take it, okay?
Yes, I've got it first. Once Hawk's ready, ready Hawk?
Sure.
All right, here we go, on three. 1, 2, 3. You guys look at that. Yeah.
We'll go ahead and get, we'll continue. Next on the agenda we have the public comment section. This is the time for the commission to receive comments from the public. We will not accept additional comment requests for speaker cards once the public comment section has commenced. If you have not already, please submit your request to the recording secretary. Speakers will have up to 3 minutes to speak. For speakers on Zoom, you must dial *9 from your phone or click the button enabled raise your hand now to be in the speaker queue once public comments commence. Recording secretary, do we have any public speakers in person?
At this time, there are none.
And do we have any speakers on Zoom?
At this time, there are none.
Thank you so much. So we will now close public comment. Next on the agenda is the consent calendar, which are items 1 through 4 on our agenda. If folks can reference that, that is the minutes of the regular meeting of July 25th, 2024, as well as any excused absences. We also additionally, the recording secretary included the library staff report and the Santana staff report, Santana Zoo staff report. So do any of the commission members, are there any items that you wish to pull from the consent calendar? I think, do we have our? Yes. I would like to pull the library staff report. Director Sternberg, Executive Director Sternberg, I just wanted to see if you can give an update on Chicano Heritage educational event. That was just the one item on the staff report that I thought would be important to highlight.
Good evening, members of the commission. My name is Brian Sternberg. I am the Library Services Director for here at the City of Santa Ana. The Library Services Agency is having its first Chicano Heritage Educational Celebration in honor of Chicano Heritage Month. That will be on August 29th, 2024 from 4 o'clock. It's actually 7:30. That is a typo. We extended the time on it a little bit. It's going to have a lot of great activities. We're going to have Ballet Folklorico out there featuring Aztec dancers. We are going to have Mariachi Los Santos from Santa Ana High School. We are going to have activities related to arts and crafts for children and adults. We are going to have other organizations out there with resources for the community as a part of sort of an educational fair with booths. We're going to have giveaways, book giveaways. We're also going to have a panel presentation on the history of Chicano films, and we are going to have a Chicano history panel featuring some faculty from CSUF, Cal State University Fullerton. So it'll be a great afternoon, evening. Please come out and join us. This is the first one that we're going to be doing. It's going to be right here outside of the council chambers. It should be a really fun, great event. We've been promoting it, so please help us spread the word, and hopefully we get a great turnout. Right out here, like I said, the performers will be in front. It'll be in the courtyard. Organizations will have booths set up, kind of where the gravel decomposed granite is, right out there. And I think it'll be, music, and we'll have a DJ out there. It's going to be fun. So please come and join us. And I'm here to answer any other questions you might have about the event.
No, thank.
Okay.
I just really wanted to highlight that because I know it's later.
Thank
this
you.
month, So I wanted.
Thank you,
to
Commissioner
pull that
Herrera.
item. Great, thank you.
Thanks.
So those were the only item I wanted to pull from consent calendar. Can we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I so moved motion to approve.
Do we have a
1,
second?
2, 3, 4, is that?
Yeah, correct. 1 through 4.
Second.
Commissioner Zacarias Torres. Madam Secretary, can you please conduct roll?
Yes, motion by Commissioner Wu, seconded by Vice Chair Torres to approve items 1 through 4 on the consent calendar. I'll now conduct a roll call vote. Commissioner Diaz,
Yes.
Commissioner Jogwe,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Reyes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wu,
Yes.
Vice Chair Torres,
Yes.
Chairperson Herrera.
Yes.
The vote is 7 ayes, 0 nays. That motion carries.
Great, thank you so much, Recording Secretary. Next on the agenda is our business calendar. The election of vice chair that was moved from our last meeting's agenda is up for discussion for today as well. We are, based on our last meeting's discussion, is taking nominations first and then taking a vote on the first nomination that is made, and then going from there. I know, Recording Secretary, we clarified that previously was mentioned that it was 5 affirmative votes for a vice chair, but the rules, I believe, are stated that it's a majority of the votes to be nominated vice chair. So now is the time. Are there any nominations to elect the next vice chair of the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission?
I would like to nominate myself.
Do we have one nomination?
I'll nominate myself off.
Do we have a second nomination? We have 2 nominations.
I'll second it.
You'll second.
Yeah, her nomination. Doesn't it need a second or no?
Recording Secretary is a second for the nomination. I believe if I recall from our.
Chair, she would need to let her know which one she's seconding.
Oh, yes.
Is she
Commissioner Wu.
seconding Torres or Diaz?
Oh, I thought that she nominated Maria Zacatores for vice chair.
Do we have a second for Commissioner Diaz?
I'll second.
You have a second? I believe we'll take the roll call for the first nomination or both. Okay, great. So Recording Secretary, can you conduct a roll call vote?
Sure. So first, the motion to nominate Commissioner Torres as the next vice chair, seconded by Commissioner Wu. I'll conduct a roll call vote for that nomination. Commissioner Diaz,
No.
Commissioner Jogwe. This is for the nomination of Vice Chair Torres. I need a yes or no.
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
No.
Commissioner Reyes. Commissioner
Yes.
Wu,
Yes.
Vice Chair Torres,
Yes.
Chairperson Herrera,
Yes.
with 5 ayes and 2 nays, that motion carries. Yeah.
we also got to do hers as well
Oh,
too.
okay.
Yeah. And
So
whoever
the-
the highest is,
Sorry. The,
I know.
the next motion for Commissioner Diaz to become the next vice chair of the Parks and Recreation Community Service Commission, seconded by Commissioner Jogwe. I will now conduct another vote. Commissioner Diaz,
Yes.
Commissioner Jogwe,
No.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Reyes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wu,
No.
Vice Chair Torres,
No.
and Chairperson Herrera.
No.
With a vote of 5 yeses and 2 nos, the motion of Commissioner Torres as the next Recreation Community Service Commission Vice Chair motion carries.
Great. Thank you so much, Recording Secretary. Now we move on to informational items, which is the section on, we move on to the informational items section of the agenda. We have 2 staff reports for folks from the public. We alternate staff reports from the 4 different areas of our Parks and Recs and Community Services. We, in our consent calendar, had foregone our library staff report, as well as our zoo. And so for this meeting, we will review our Parks, Recreation, and Community Services staff report, followed by our Parks and Facilities staff report. So, Deputy, for our Parks, Recreation, and Community Services staff report. Pagano.
I'm used to going last, so going first, this is a treat.
I'm following the agenda.
Sounds good. Good evening, Chairperson Herrera and Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be with you guys this evening. What a summer, for recreation. You going from all the way to a wonderful July 4th celebration, movies in the park, concerts in the park, Shakespeare in the park, a 10-week summer day camp program, swim lessons, recreation swim at 3 of our aquatics facilities. Our recreation team did a fantastic job, this summer. And I can, go on and do some highlights without saying thank you to our colleagues from Public Works and Park Services for all the support that they provide us. A lot of times we just go in and we're delivering services and programs, but the real work is, the preparation of all of our sites, making sure that we're ready to go for the next day. And we couldn't do it without them, working with us hand in hand. So a genuine thank you to the individuals in the audience and not here with us this evening. Just a few highlights from each section. Just wanted to bring to your attention. In our athletics section, our youth girls softball and boys baseball program concluded. We had about 327 athletes that participated in that program this summer. And we also handed out 25 player sportsmanship and 7 coaching and sportsmanship trophies at the conclusion of the season. Our youth flag football program, the registration started on August 12th. The exciting part about that is the expansion of girls flag football as part of that offering. So we're really excited to see the young ladies come out and participate in that sport. Our athletic session also stepped in and provided a 3-on-3 basketball tournament at Chicano Heritage Festival, which was very popular. We had a great participation, great turnout. We had about 22 teams in both the boys and girls division. And it was really well received while we were conducting the special event out at Centennial Park. As we transition to our next section, one last thing with athletics, our field permit program is also, obviously being well received. Reservations office issued over 1,500 permits for the month of July and August. That's quite a volume of permits that we're delivering to the community, all of our adult user groups and our youth user groups, making sure that we're optimizing our field space for all of the users that want to have permitted time there. And I believe, as Hawk said prior to the meeting beginning, we are receiving a lot of interest from outside organizations, including Mater Dei, to reserve the Santa Ana Stadium. And we're going to be seeing some pretty big games in the future. Next up, we have our aquatics section, who had a really wonderful year too. This year, we were only operating out of 3 aquatics facilities because Memorial Park Pool was decommissioned last October. And despite that, we were able to deliver over 2,300 learn to swim lessons over the course of the 10 weeks of programming, which is absolutely phenomenal for a program that only was operating out of 3 aquatics facilities. That number does not include the work that the aquatics team did with our summer splash camp program. So beyond just the learn to swim lessons that were offered in the afternoon, our aquatics team also worked with all of our summer day campers as a added value to that program, so that they could also access the pool and learn how to swim as part of their camp registration. The aquatic section also, excuse me, collaborated with the Jasper Ray Foundation and the Orange County Drowning Prevention Coalition as being one of 3 sites for this year's Orange County Safer Summer Pool Party. The efforts around that were to provide an opportunity for residents to learn how to be safer around water. So learning about life jacket sizing, some basic water safety techniques. And we were very fortunate to be working with partners such as the American Red Cross, the Jasper Ray Foundation, Swim Brave. They all came out and helped with that event, in which we saw, I think, roughly 202 participants that went through that, and then 101 stayed for our recreation swim that we held later on that evening. We also were featured on Telemundo during the course of a pre-segment leading up to the event. Our lifeguard, Maritza Murillo, was featured, and she did about 5 live segments starting at like 5:30 in the morning, and she did an amazing job representing the city of Santa Ana and the aquatics program. So a little bit of a shout out to her. Finally, in aquatics, even though summer is officially over, we decided to take our programming and extend it because of the still warm weather that exists in Southern California for September and October. And we are offering extended summer swim aquatics programs, which includes learn to swim lessons and also recreation swim at a modified offering just coming out of Jerome Park. But what we did and what they did is they developed a learn to swim program, which had 252 potential spots for swimmers that, if they wanted to learn to swim lessons. And I'm happy to report that out of the 252, 198 were filled leading into this week's first week of programming. So good job to our aquatics team. Our community engagement section wanted to notify everybody that our fall edition of the Cultura, which covers mid-September through the end of January, will be mailed to subscribers the weekend of September 7th. We're still receiving a lot of subscriptions, and those links are still live on the website in case any of our residents want to subscribe and have the next edition mailed out to them. Really excited to report that our sponsors and partners program is doing very well. This last month, 5 new partnership agreements have been signed. That's with Project Kinship, the Orange County Soccer Club, Northgate Market, Telemundo 52, and the Mass Auto Group. And those are for various levels within our partnership and sponsorship program. Lastly, for community engagement, our contract classes has been transferred over to community engagement. Just a little bit of a change of pace there. But going into this fall, we have 15 instructors on board, and we are preparing to offer approximately 120 class sessions during the fall season that will be covered in the Cultura. So residents will be able to see which classes are going to be offered at all of our sites in the upcoming Cultura, and those contract classes will be featured in there. Our community garden program was absolutely going nuts this summer. A lot of participation, a lot of signature programs that are really starting to catch on with the community. I believe at Madison Community Garden, we had the Salsa y Salsa event, which was really well received, where we're making salsa. A salsa dancer instructor came out and started teaching salsa dancing. So that was really fun and kind of a spur of the moment. But now we're in discussions with him to potentially teach salsa at one of our community centers moving forward, because it was so well received by the community when we were out there. This summer, the total garden participants, or excuse me, from mid-July to mid-August, we had over 1,600 garden participants for that time period. Wilderness Club, we have some upcoming trips for September 24th and 28th, where we'll be visiting the Santiago Parks Regional Park with OC Habitats. And on October 12th, we have the Bolsa Chica Wetlands Conservancy guided hike. So we're looking forward to having a lot of participation there. Our Golden City Hour, we have new hours from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. on the second and fourth Wednesday of the month over at Santiago Park. Great time to kind of go through a guided hike with your neighbors and learn more about Santiago Park and the watershed over there. Our senior services section is so popular right now because we just debuted our senior cruisers that you may have seen at either our special events or traveling around town. I believe we have 3 cruisers that are picking up our seniors and taking them to and from our senior centers, both Santa Ana Senior Center and the Southwest Senior Center. We currently have 244 registered riders for that program, and the vans look great. The transport vans look dynamic, and I think the seniors feel really special, being able to ride in them. And it's not just a regular white transport van. It's got some color and some vibrancy to it. So they're really excited about that. Earlier this month, our senior excursion program went to the Orange County Fair. I think we had 3 bus loads of our seniors that attended. And as a result of City Council directing some funding to that program, we were able to not only transport our seniors, but also pay for their admission in that excursion. So I know that was really well received by our senior population. And there's so many programs coming out of our senior centers. The one thing I did want to highlight, on September 27th, we do have our 2nd annual International Older Adult Celebration that's going to be taking place at Jerome Park. We look forward to seeing you there. I believe it starts at 9 a.m. On that day. Our special events section, the big one, during the summertime, July 4th, like I said, movies in the parks, concerts in the park. We just completed Chicano Heritage over at Centennial, which was in my opinion, a really great success, a nice pivot from the 2 years that we've had it over at El Salvador Park. Just in terms of the event layout, the spacing, the ability to visit all the different elements that we had there. We did incorporate a cruise in this year's event format. And we did that last year too, but this year it seemed a little bit more community led, which was nice. We had roughly 28 cars that registered with us, and I think we had 2 that showed up day of that wanted to participate in the cruise. And it was a really nice element to have not only go from Diamond Elementary School down Ettinger, south to Fairview, and then all the way around the park to where we then set them up in a car show that could be enjoyed by all the participants. Great musical acts from Soto Band to Vicky Tafoya. Probably the most vendors that we've ever had in any of our special events that came from the community. Art show, again, community led, just a really great atmosphere and a really well received special event. We're clocking the attendance at about 7,800 for this year's event, which is a really great turnout for an event in early August. It's still warm outside, but we really appreciated the community coming and supporting. Up next is Fiestas Patrias, and we are making a big move down to the downtown area, and we're really excited about it. Obviously, there's some nostalgia of where the fiestas took place a long time ago, but we're willing to bring it back and see how we can incorporate it back into the downtown with the businesses and all the residents. So this year's footprint is going to be basically from French all the way down to Broadway. and between Fifth Street and Third Street. So that's going to be our footprint this year. One of the things that we were able to accomplish is we work with Northgate Gonzalez Markets. They own the lot directly adjacent to the Plaza Calle Cuatro. Is currently a vacant lot. And we asked if we could have entry into that so that we can continue to have our big stage that we've had over the last 2 years for Fiestas Patrias. And we were able to strike up a licensing and partner agreement with them to where we will have access. We will be able to have our large stage as we have had the last 2 years on Flower, which is great because there was definitely challenges with the OCTA streetcar. There's clearance, issues. We were only going to have a stage that was going to be able to be 16 feet high. And that just wasn't going to be able to give us the ability to bring in the entertainers that we're looking to bring in for the actual Fiestas event on Saturday, the 14th and Sunday, the 15th. Of course, all the same elements will be there. The El Grito will be taking place at 7 p.m. on Sunday, the 15th. And in the morning, a little bit shift there, we will be having our parade that will be traveling down Main Street from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So it's going to be a straight shot down Main Street heading into the downtown area. And we're hoping that by taking it down, Main Street into the downtown area, everybody that joined us for the parade will then just go right into the event space and just enjoy the rest of the day there. So applications are closed for vendors. I think we had 75. We only have spots for about 46. We have all of our sponsors coming out, the Anaheim Ducks, the LA Clippers. We have an auto group that is sponsoring this event. We are, I think, in preliminary discussions with Disney. They want to be in the space as well, too. So a lot of exciting things that are happening with Fiestas, and we look forward to making announcements via our social media and our website on who the entertainers that we have selected. We're still in contract negotiations, just for formalities as far as getting signatures at this point, but we'll be there shortly. Coming up mid-autumn, we'll also our mid-autumn celebration will take place October 5th at Centennial Park from 4 to 8, and we are starting to plan for Plaza Navideña that will be taking place in Plaza Calle Cuatro November 22nd. Our youth and teen section did a very good job this year. A lot of new programming that came out, specifically our teen summer camp. It was something that was green lighted probably in April, and they moved fast. And they did a really good job of putting together a teen camp for some of our youth that, are kind of, caught in the middle between high school and, our summer youth camps. They did a fantastic job of putting something together that was really well received. They brought in guest speakers from SpaceX, from Suavecito. They had family dinners. They went and toured the downtown on a regular basis. They participated in the junior lifeguard program over at our pools. So they were really exposed to a great deal this summer. And I commend our youth and teen section because they had to operate really quickly to put that together for it to be as well received as it was. Our teen excursion program is going to be beginning again starting in September. We're going to be starting with Knott's Berry Farm. We're going to be going to Camp Commerce, which is in Lake Arrowhead area. And that will be an overnight excursion. So we're really excited about that one. And then we will be going to the Frida Theater in November. Summer Day Camp did a fantastic job this year. From week to week to week, we had special projects, special activities. We had excursions that went relatively well. Raging Waters, Not Soak City, the California Science Museum. I really commend our Summer Splash Day Camp staff for what they did with our participants, not only on the big things, but also the small things in terms of, interacting with our kids and really giving them a really first-rate experience at our centers. And with that, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you for sharing such great programming. There's a lot that you're overseeing, and so much of the great work coming from Parks and Rec staff. Do we have any questions or comments from the commission? Vice Chair Zacarias Torres?
Hi, good evening. In regards to youth sports, how many scholarships were awarded?
That's a great question. I don't have that number with me, but I can find out and I can certainly send that information to you.
Okay. And do you know how much funding we have to award in scholarships for the youth?
I think that's done primarily out of, us evaluating a case by case situation. If a parent comes up to us and says, I'm having a real hard time, with the fees that are associated with our youth sports program, I think we go through an application process and our youth sports team evaluates it to see if we can provide a cost adjustment to those individuals. In terms of funding, that's something that we're still working on in terms of how we have that continuous funding so that we can provide more youth scholarships to those individuals that want to play in our youth sports programs.
Is there, on the applications itself, is there a space that mentions anything about scholarships being available?
As far as the registration goes, no, because again, like I said, if we were to approach it that way, then with the funding that we are working with, we would probably exhaust that relatively quick. So right now, it's, on a case by case basis, if a parent comes up to any of our youth sports staff, they'll, have a conversation with them and then they'll work with them from that point.
Okay, because I'm thinking about myself when I was a youth, and I don't know if my mom would have had the courage to ask about scholarships. Maybe if it's somewhere on the application that scholarships are available on a need basis, that would maybe the parents would want to ask more information about it if it's somewhere, but if it's not available, I don't know if the parents would know to ask about it.
Sure, totally understandable. We'll work with our athletics team to see if that's something that we can add to the registration form. A similar situation in aquatics, we do have quite a bit of funding from outside agencies that that we can rely on in terms of having that funding there specifically for swim lessons. So in that particular instance, there is an application form. It's usually in alignment with the reduced lunch parameters and everything. So when we gather that information, it's a real simple, okay, yes, qualified and the scholarship is applied. With our youth sports program, there isn't that guarantee of funding, that bucket of money to where we can pull from where it's consistent. But again, that's something that our athletics section is looking into to where we can have a consistent fund to where we can apply those scholarships similarly to our aquatics programs. But we'll definitely take your comments into consideration and we'll work on them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then for the esports program, is that only being housed at the Garfield Community Center?
Correct. As of right now, that was one of the pilot programs that the youth and teen group worked on in the spring. Unfortunately, we weren't able to debut it the way that we wanted to during the summer, teen camp, mostly because all the parts that are put together in the PCs and everything all came at different times. So that is something that we're going to be starting shortly. I'm really excited about it, mainly because the way that we are trying to deploy it, we're working with a couple nonprofit agencies in the fact of trying to create a workforce development pipeline, right? And so instead of it just being video games for the sake of video games, we're trying to get into esports leagues. We are working with a team out of Cal State Fullerton that is mentoring the group that will eventually make up the Garfield team. We've also interfaced with the University of Irvine team as well too. So we're still in our infancy in that program, but the subject matter expertise that's over at Garfield right now, I have a lot of confidence in their abilities to be able to deploy it and to make it something that we want it to be, and not gaming for the sake of gaming, but to, open up the possibilities in terms of what gaming can provide in terms of not only educational opportunities, there's scholarships for e-gaming at colleges and everything like that, but also entryways into the workforce that maybe our kids may not realize are there for them at this point. So that's something that that's kind of our objective, is in bringing this forward at this time.
That's great, because at UCI on campus, there's a whole esports section because it can lead to a career. And on our volunteer program, Do we know how many youth that were volunteering ended up being part of the Santa Ana Youth Program?
I don't have those numbers off the top of my head. I will tell you that there was a consistent 40 to 45 teens that were volunteering in our volunteer program. I think they were honored at our previous commission meeting for all of their efforts. And the last time I saw a stat sheet, all of their efforts combined to about 670 plus hours of volunteering over a certain period of time. I don't think it was during the summer, but that's certainly a component of Garfield and the team programs. Is it's almost like you got to give a little to get a little, right? Especially with our teen excursion program being free and just a matter of registering. The way that they've structured it is that if you volunteer a certain amount of hours, you get priority registration, right? So you're not number 51 looking from the outside in. If you put in that time, then you get that priority registration to be able to ensure your spots on the next teen excursion.
That's great, because I remember at the community garden, we would have youth that were volunteering who ended up growing up to be of working age.
Mhm.
Then we would tell them about the Santa Ana Youth Program so
Yep.
they could be employed by the city. It's a
Absolutely.
great program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the commission?
I have one. I spoke to, first of all, thanks for all the work. It's amazing stuff you're doing with the community and all the events. I loved all the sports when I was younger and at Salgado Center, especially
Awesome.
basketball. So I spoke with some of the vendors at the Chicano Heritage Festival, and they wanted to know if for the future ones, if maybe they can be on a different side when the public comes in, because the stage, they were on the other side of the stage. So sometimes there was a bunch of tents where people were set up and it was kind of hard to see the vendors from one side. So if maybe they were on the side where the entrance was, it kind of forces people to kind of walk through. So then they see the booths and the information. So that was just something that was told to me, if that could be passed along for the next.
Certainly, yeah, I mean, welcome to the commission, by the way, and thank you for those remarks. Yeah, I mean, we were even discussing it that morning, like just the placement of the vendors and the spacing that we were working with. But yeah, there was definitely an area of opportunity as far as maybe repositioning them. The thing with Centennial is everywhere is an entry point, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were trying to put the vendors closest to the parking structure because we felt like that's where a majority of our guests were going to be coming from and stuff, but certainly something to look at. So thank you for that feedback.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
Any other comments? Deputy Director, yeah, I just wanted to commend you for a great Chicano Heritage Festival and the team. It was a really successful event. I showed up for about 2.5 hours for the event, the latter half. I liked how things were. I understand, like, I think that's a great comment to kind of see where the traffic flow was to kind of get some of the vendors more recognized. I really enjoyed seeing the sports activity component for folks. I got to take a ride in one of the carts, the go-karts, to kind of see the whole like layout of the event. Such a great lineup of musicians that you had. I really enjoyed the art component. There was a lot of local art. Maybe we can bring in more artists, or that's always. I think it was always. It was really beautiful to kind of see that component of it. I know that it was a hot day, and the dance floor, maybe I don't know how, if maybe it was a cost issue or something like shading over that area, or maybe it was just like a line of sight for folks to kind of see what was going on. I know that when I saw, there was various areas where folks can kind of lay, like if you wanted to be in the shade, there was some parts in the back. If people can bring their own items. I thought it was great, like how you kind of gave a little bit of options for folks to kind of see where they can kind of fit in. But yeah, I just wanted to, maybe I was like, oh, maybe there's a little bit more shade in on the dance floor. There would be a little bit more, there was dancers there, but I was like, oh, it's hot, so, but I just wanted to commend you on such a great event and the team. For the Wilderness Club, I just wanted to thank you for partnering with OC Habitats. We've been partnering with them with Council Member Jesse Lopez to do park cleanups at Santiago Park. We've hosted over over 6, 7, 8 different park cleanups with OC Habitats. And so I'm happy that they made their way into the programming to see. I'll definitely do my best to make it on the 24th, I believe I saw, and the 28th. They're a great partner if you all want to go check out Santiago Park. It's one of our most invested parks that we have. Well, I mean, we have now new parks coming up on online, but that's a great event. I also want to thank your senior services team for the Shakespeare in the parks. I went to attend that event at Birch Park. Is it Carlos that works there?
We have Juan and
Juan,
Juan.
yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, it was so great. I got to meet with the executive director of Shakespeare by the Sea, and they are a theater nerd, and I thought it was great. I do a little bit of I'm part of the OC Gay Men's Chorus, and so there's a little bit of theatrics there. So I thought it was great to connect with them, get their support, and they really love the work that they do here. It was well attended, very well attended. And I don't know what type of contracts we have with them, but to the extent that we can continue to partner with them, it brings folks out to our parks and it activates that park a lot. So I know that it was well attended and well received. For the other, I know Fiestas Patrias is coming up. It was really exciting to have this event last year. To have so much of representation from different parts of Mexico and South America as well. There was other floats there as well. I'll speak on my behalf. I really would like to be a judge again to judge the parade and the floats. I know we had a limit of 3 last time. I know Commissioner Diaz was there and Vice Chair Zacarias Torres, and I know we had a fun time there. So I don't know if it's 3 or 5 of us, or I don't know if we would be if it would be a Brown Act meeting at that point. But if more of you want to join, I think the more the merrier. I think it's a great event to kind of front row seat to a lot of the culture and the beauty. And those are the comments that I had.
Thank you so much.
Okay, moving on. The next staff report is from Parks and Facilities.
Good evening, Chair, Commissioners. Thank you for having me. My name is Mike Ortiz, Deputy Public Works Director, overseeing the Park Services Division. And typically I have 2 people to introduce. Very, very happy to do so. But today we've got quite the team here. I'll just first start by introducing our Executive Director of Public Works, Nabil Saba, is here with us today. And really excited to introduce our General Maintenance team. They're the celebrities that you'll see on a lot of the pictures, actually. I won't steal George's thunder, but I'm very proud to lead these gentlemen. So I just want to publicly acknowledge and thank you guys for being here and for everything that you do. Today was Silvestre's turn. Muchas gracias, Silvestre, por todo lo que haces. But any one of these gentlemen is very deserving of this award because of all the hard work they do. And we put together a very robust report that even, I don't know if you've noticed a new format, we kind of break it down by ward to make it easy for you to see what's important for your immediate constituents. And we also highlight citywide efforts. So if there's anything in that report that you have questions on, we'd be happy to answer. But as I mentioned last time, we love to share pictures. And in order to do so, I will hand it off to both George Acevedo, our Park Services Superintendent, to highlight our maintenance team's efforts, and then Susie Frajanic to go on and talk about our park planning efforts. But without further ado, I'll kick it off to George.
Thank you, Mike, for that. As Mike mentioned, my name is George Acevedo, Park Service Superintendent. I do want to take the opportunity to once again thanks to Sylvester for all the hard work he does out there. This guy, I saw him. He used to work for our landscape contractor, and I know when I went out there multiple times, I've always seen a hole in a ditch, and get to find out it's always him in the ditch when he was a contractor. We were fortunate enough to hire him, so very, very grateful to be on our team. Like I mentioned, humbled, down to earth. Always knowledgeable for sure, but we're always willing to share that information with his peers. So once again, thank you, Sylvester, for the hard work. I do want to echo what Tim mentioned, all these events, special events, movies, concerts. It's not done by just a snap of fingers. General maintenance guys, the general maintenance team, which is behind me, does a lot of that hard work and heavy lifting. The showmobile, I know Wayne Baker is the lead, or Mark Knight, which is here, he's the lead. Luis, thank you for showing up. Forrest is the electrician, but I could go on and on and on. Right? These guys are in here in the trenches, making these events happen. Making our spaces green, clean, and safe. And as a testament to all the increase in permits, people wanting to come and reserve certain facilities. So, in a weird way, we'll pat ourselves on our back for that. So, even though nobody says something, so these guys always go unnoticed. Maintenance is, it's not flashy because it's nothing new, nothing projects, but with my presentation, I did want to take an opportunity to share some of the stuff that happens behind the scenes. So one of the things that you guys noticed at Thornton Park, we took an opportunity to partner with not only the Me Encanta event and the Musco retrofits, but some of the general maintenance guys assisted, in making this project whole by providing some of the demo and installation of some concrete benches. So as you can see here, these projects are not possible by some of the partnership or hard work that our guys do to partner with contractors to, make our budget stretch a little longer and be able to, party pour the entire sections of concrete versus just patching certain sections. So this way it just gives you the appearance of a more whole, complete project. So once again, thank you, Jet Maintenance guys, for stepping up and doing some of that heavy lifting there. Here you see some of the pictures of the guys. We get mainline breaks throughout the summer, throughout the time. They impact potable water for our restrooms. They impact the irrigation for our turf. So, these guys quickly are able to adapt during the day, mobilize, get out there, make the repairs, and minimize the closures and the downtime. There's just going to be times where, unforeseen emergencies happen, and these guys are quick to react and, like I said, minimize the downtime that a park is down, being able to keep the restrooms open, maintain potable water up. So once again, I can't say enough about this general maintenance team. So another behind the scenes, that's a theme that my theme of my presentation is, the bike trail on was it Alton bike trail is constantly getting vandalized by homelessness. These guys are out there, every day, every week, going out there repairing holes in the fence by transients, just trying to make our space, our bike trail safe for students, bikers, and park users. So that's kind of what we do on a day-to-day. Here's another picture at Centennial Park, another mainline break. We get these for multiple reasons: aging. I don't say deferred maintenance, but our park systems are old and our infrastructure is aging. So a lot of this stuff is just repairing old with new. So this way, we had to tear up some pavers, replace a new line, close the road, and then reinstall the paver. So that's a big overcoming. We're happy to announce that Sasser Park, it's been down for about 2 years since the streetcar construction kind of adjacent to it overtook that area. We finally were able to put some water in it. So we're excited to kind of maybe add a water feature. Some of the guys are going to take some of their creativity to put something together, just spruce up the fountain and make it a nicer aesthetic water body. Last month is Parks Month. July is a way we celebrate our parks and recreation professionals. We were able to have a beautiful training and celebration at the Santiago Lawn Bowling Center. Here we had the entire team. out there just with some good motivational speakers. Mike was able to speak to us, thanking Nabil for supporting our team and joining that effort. But yeah, once again, we try to give back to our staff members and acknowledging them and recognizing them for all their hard work. Here's a picture, just another behind the scenes at Santiago, the Musco project. We're installing new lighting at the baseball fields. So the guys are out there identifying lines underground, making sure that to minimize the damage from the trenching. So it's a fun project. We're excited to have that. Just a lot of the behind the scenes that goes on that needs to be recognized. So with that concludes my presentation. Once again, I want to thank our Executive Director Nabil and Hawk for his support.
Good evening, Commission Chair Herrera, members of the commission. It's nice to see you all. I'm Susie Furjanic. I oversee the Park Planning Division. And tonight I wanted to highlight a couple projects that are under construction, a couple projects that are on deck, and another really big project that is coming soon. Gerardo Moet Park. I believe you've heard me talk about this before. These are all capital projects. These are all projects that take years to make happen, and every step of the way is an exciting time, but especially when we get to this point and we see it actually start to take shape and get closer and closer to that completion date and ribbon cutting. Gerardo Moet Park, discussions started on this park back in 2016. It's been around a while. It's taken a while. There was a big community outreach effort, applications submitted to the state for funding, all of it leading to where we are now. So if you were to go out there right now, you'd see the playground, you'd see the exercise equipment, you'd see the sunshades, the skate park is in place, the alley has been shifted, irrigation system is in, lights, and I believe the landscaping just arrived recently. Project's about 70% complete. It will be complete this fall of this year. And we're anticipating a ribbon cutting probably October, November. Santa Anita Center, Santa Anita Park, another project many years in the making. Santa Anita Park has had a complete transformation. Looks absolutely nothing like it did not too long ago. Spent about 1.5 years working on the new soccer field, the bleacher seating surrounding it, new walkways, lighting, sports lighting, landscape irrigation, basketball, playground, and more. Now the big focus is on the rebuilding of the new community center. 1.5 weeks ago, they poured the concrete foundation slab, the building slab, and now the walls are going up. It's really, you can really get a sense of what it's going to feel like now. Completion is slated for, I believe, March of next year. And part of this is going to also renovate the pool that's out there. So by next summer, Aquatics will have one more pool to program and get those numbers up even more. Okay, couple projects that are on deck, meaning we've opened bids. They're going to City Council for construction contract award, Madison Park Splash Pad, another big step forward to becoming a reality. City Council will be reviewing and hopefully approving the construction contract on September the 17th, and we will break ground shortly thereafter. Another project that's on deck right now, Santiago Park Phase 2. This is a section of Santiago Park between Main Street and the gas house area that we just completed last year. This construction contract is also slated to be awarded on September the 17th. This project is going to involve new lighting, a new bikeway, pedestrian walkway. We're going to repopulate the Oaks. We're going to, it's going to be the passive where the gas house was more of an active area. This is going to be our passive piece that we're trying to rebuild and re-landscape. And now, coming soon, Memorial Aquatic Center, the largest capital improvement project in our park system ever. Extremely exciting project. And where many of these projects, I was saying many years in the making, this one is pretty incredible because, as Tim mentioned, we just decommissioned that pool last October. And here we are out to bid already. We're going to be opening bids for this project on September the 4th. And this was quite an endeavor. We had a very robust community outreach component to this. And we kicked off, we finalized the concept and we kicked off the contract document phase of this project in January. Within 7 months, and we're rushing because the ARPA, the federal American Rescue Plan Act dollars is what is making this possible. And as such, we're under a very, very tight timeline. So it's pretty amazing that in 7 months' time, we were able to take this from concept to full-blown contract documents that could be publicly advertised for bid. 249 sheets of plans and over 2,000 sheets in our specifications manual. So it's, I'm pretty impressed by the consulting team and our in-house team that have all worked together to get us to this point. As you know, it's going to be a complete rebuild of the existing aquatics facility that's out there now. We will be demolishing the community center. We will be completely demolishing the pool and the pool equipment room and rebuilding a new center. It's just under 7,000 square feet. It's modern. It's all electric. It's going to be our first all electric facility in the city. Instead of doing one 50-meter pool, we had a long discussion about this. We're going to be installing 2 pools so that we could expand on the programming and serve a larger portion of the community. There will be a competition pool and an activity pool that will have a zero beach entry, lane lap swimming. There will be water elements. It's almost like a splash pad on steroids and a big water slide. The other thing that's really special about this project is Memorial Park was christened in 1950. It's an old park. It has history, and it was very important to capture the historical component and essence of this park. And that kind of encapsulates a lot. You have the Chicano Gothic mural, you have the bandstand, you have plaques and established trees and an established essence. And although this is a brand new facility, it pays homage to and hangs on to and honors all those historical elements in the park. And we're really excited about the Chicano Gothic mural. It will now be outside of the pool. You don't have to be in the pool on the pool deck to be able to enjoy it. The pool is actually we're going to reserve, or we're going to preserve, cut away and protect and reinforce that section of the wall. That's the only thing that's not going to be demoed. We're going to hang on to that. We're going to reinforce it. We're going to protect it. And once we get fairly along with construction, we're going to have a team out there to preserve it. So, and it will be on the outside in the park now where it can be enjoyed. Last thing I'll say about this is we're shooting to award a construction contract October 15th, and we should mobilize by the end of the year. Really, really, really excited to get these pools back online. Going to push to try to get that, you know, somewhere in 2026. It's going to be about a 16-month construction period. It will be completed probably late summer, early fall in 2026, but super excited for that day to come. And, you know, just knowing how popular aquatics was this year, cannot wait to see what this is going to do to serve this community. With that, that concludes my presentation. I thank you all, and I'll take any questions you may have.
I have one. What is that white box on the side of the basketball? What is that going to be on that side?
That is, the community asked for a gymnasium. So that is, when before we did the aquatic center, what we did was we master planned the east side of the park, essentially from the fence line that divides the ball fields from the rest of the park. From that point to the east, we looked at that whole area. And as part of the community outreach, one of the things that the community was asking for was a gymnasium. So that was factored in. And although it's not part of this plan here, it's ghosted in there just so that you could see where it fits in the grand
It's
scheme.
going to be,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
I would like, yeah, I'm glad to hear about the bandstand and the Chicano mural because there was such an uproar about it, but I think you should keep pace with the neighborhood association and groups because so many people have different, it's going to be torn down and it's not going to be preserved. So as we do need to tell the community that it is going to be preserved and that they are taking input from the community, so to speak, is what I've heard. And it needs to be more widened in the community in itself. But I'm very glad, yes, people were keeping the bandstand and overseeing with the neighborhood, the mural in itself, correct? Okay.
One of the things that we're looking at doing is treating it like a museum piece.
Oh.
Where we could put a QR code to the side that will take you to a site that talks about its history and will document the preservation process. So that's something that we're talking about and wanting to make happen.
So many people with these rumors again, far off and really looking it up and finding out what is going on.
Yes, yes.
Any other comments from the commission? Vice Chair Zacarías.
Hi, good evening.
Hi.
In regards to the Madison Park splash pad, do we know where it'll be located?
Yes, it's going to be just to the east of the playground area. There's a playground and then there's a big kind of open grass area and then Standard Avenue. It's going to kind of be nestled. There's some rolling hills. It's going to kind of be nestled into one of the slopes.
Okay, so there'll still be like the picnic benches and
Yes, yeah,
space
that'll
for
kind of be
staying.
surrounding it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Will there be any solar powered? Any of this will be solar powered?
The splash pad?
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay. On the Santiago Park Phase 2, so you're talking about the trail that's leading close to the Discovery Science Center?
Yeah, the trail that runs through the park up to where it dives under Main Street.
Got it. Will that also include new lighting upgrades? Because that area is a little bit dark at night. I walk
Yes.
my dog around there.
Yes.
Okay. And for the Memorial Aquatic Center, will there be upgrades to the stage that's there at the park?
Not at this time. Not
Okay,
at
'cause
this
that's a
time.
little old too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's, with a park that old, it's almost like a Pandora's box where you work at this, and then you start to see other things. But there's been a lot of investment in Memorial Park. I know George's team has done, quite a lot with field renovations and the backstop fencing and the sports lighting and picnic tables and benches. So, we're kind of tag teaming it in a lot of ways, and we'll continue. And yes, we will get to the bandstand. Absolutely, we will.
And then there's a fitness center near the community center.
Mhm.
Will that remain in place or will it get upgraded?
It's going to be protected in place.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other comments from the commission? Commissioner Nelson?
Santa Anita, so we did the tour and saw that the fields look fantastic. That was quite a long time ago. Is there any programming? Well, there's just no parking, correct? At Santa Anita?
So currently with all the construction going on, it takes up all the parking, it takes up everything. So once we open up the buildings, then that park will fully open with that big old green spaces with the 2 7-on-7 fields on there. So it will program once that park opens, but currently there is no programming.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Commissioner Diaz?
Well, thank you for your work, and I'm very happy that you guys are moving forward and the community is being involved. So I wanted to ask you, and will Memorial Park have a splash pad or not?
It's not a splash pad in the traditional sense. It's like I was saying, the activity pool is almost like a splash pad on steroids. It will have features within it.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Chair Zacarías Torres?
It was last week that I attended SAS and Active Streets had a little like a forum on public transportation. Do we have plans in connecting our bike trails, and if we do, how far along are we on that?
Not quite sure how to answer that question. So we have a bikeway master plan that's part of the mobility element in the city's general plan. And that was led by our traffic engineering team. Now, in the park system, we have the Class 1 trails. We work closely with our traffic engineering team to make those connections. And yeah, that's something that that we look at. The city's Golden Loop, we're still actively looking at where, the missing pieces are and what's the plan to fill them in. And I am going to be planning a staff ride to bike it, to, check it out and see where the missing pieces are, what we can do to get them happen and bring that to fruition.
Oh, if possible, could we be invited to that?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to attend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any additional comments or questions from the commission? Deputy Director, Park Superintendent, and Susie, you all are doing such an amazing job. Thank you for bringing forth the pictures to help kind of illuminate some of the back end stuff that really happens to our park. Our programming probably gets a lot of jazz and, a lot of recognition from the public. You probably receive the most complaints, right? For we need you to fix this or fix that, right? But thank you for bringing these pictures forth. I really just want to highlight the Parks Month that you highlighted. You have a really big team here, right? And so I'm like, wow, these are folks that are making our parks, as you said, Superintendent, green, clean, and safe. I think that's I might take your tagline. And I just wanted to share that. I also wanted to talk about I went to the Delhi Association meeting. They were doing a presentation on, Susie was there. Thank you for the great presentation. I know the consultant was there talking a little bit about the designs for the potential park expansion. Yeah, I think some of the residents, there was, concerns of houseless folks being there and kind of, I know Susie did a great job of trying to talk about like a balance between activating our parks, having lighting and, having public safety there as well. So I just wanted to share that those are some of the concerns that kind of came up from that park. Something that I left was that it was a costly options, right? These are just designs that were presented. They weren't necessarily, commitments from the city to expand Delhi Park. But in my mind, I was like, well, we're investing so much in other parts of our city, right? Like upwards of like 14-15 million dollars in like Memorial Park, and Santa Anita Park, right? And I think it's great that we're kind of thinking in the Delhi neighborhood in the southeast side of the city. Like I was like, dang, I should have inspired the residents to feel like they do deserve these things as well, right? Like we can be asking the city for these things. Obviously, it takes money. And there's a financial crisis coming in as we hear, right? But I really like that forward vision that you kind of that was left in the residents' minds around like this is what we can imagine for ourselves and our community, and incorporating all those aspects. Like we shouldn't be locking ourselves out of a park, right? Like we really should have like a good strike of balance between improving our quality of life, having green open space, having lighting, and kind of having it better for everyone, right? So I just wanted to kind of share some of those thoughts that came up for me attending that meeting. I recently went to with Councilmember Jesse Lopez to and Congressmember Lou Correa, as well as Supervisor Sarmiento, right there at Santiago Creek. I believe there was like a fire that had happened maybe like 2.5 weeks ago. I know that Public Works was working to clear out some of those. I know there's, it's a very sensitive area for folks to think about our environment, but also like not letting it be overrun where things can like light on fire and stuff like that. But it was a great event. I think it was to listen to the residents. I did go to the restroom at Fisher Park, and I don't know if there's a plan for thinking about the renovations. The latch on the door was it's an old building, right? And so I just wanted to see if there was any, there was no soap dispenser. So I was like, making sure. So are there any plans for the improvement of Fisher Park, or are there any next steps or just things that can be tweaked there that can be improved for the residents?
At Fisher Park, thank you for the question. At Fisher Park, there isn't any funding currently identified for major renovations. We do have two things. Obviously, our general maintenance team could always address any minor issues that come up, but also the neighborhood. The last time we attended a neighborhood meeting, they asked to meet to just have like a vision meeting there to see what we could come up with. And some of the things you're mentioning, one of the beauties of now having a park planning team, which we didn't have in the past, is we can dream and we can draw up a lot of things and create concepts and take input from the community so that if grants do come up or funding does become available, we're ready. We're ready to move. So we are offering that to any neighborhood association or anybody who lives immediately around a park that wants to come up with ideas and provide input for improvements. As far as general things like restrooms, we do have priority lists that we're developing for roofs on facilities, restrooms, parking lot improvements, playground, things that just get deferred and don't get replaced. Well, this team is putting up priority lists and constantly looking for funding to try to improve things. So while Fisher Park doesn't, the restroom doesn't stand out as one of the next priorities, rest assured that we are slowly tackling these issues as well and looking for funding on a regular basis.
There's some rock formation there at the Fisher Park. some of the Hovenists were like jumping on it, and I asked them, like, please come down. I don't want you to get hurt. Is that rock formation meant to be climbed? Or is it just there for folks to kind of go under? Or I was confused. I was like, this looks dangerous, and I wanted to talk. I talked to the parents, and she's like, my kids come here all the time, and I'm like, I know, but I don't, liability issues I was thinking about. But so is that rock formation supposed to be climbed?
The comments received, I believe the rock formation is for an old fire pit. So we are having conversations
On the playground. So I know that.
Oh, on the
fire pit-
playground?
Yeah, on the playground.
Oh, that probably is meant to be climbed then.
That is meant to be.
That
climbed.
probably is meant to be climbed. And one of the things that George's team is doing is they're replacing all of the rubberized surfacing at parks. And I know Fisher Park doesn't have the rubberized surfacing in some areas, so that's on the radar. And that's the rubber that goes under the playgrounds. We've replaced all of the existing rubberized with new, and now the next phase is to actually introduce it in parks that never had it. So that's probably one of the ones that'll get the safe. So if they do climb and happen to fall, they'll have the, the fall zones, and everything will be safer than just landing on a hard surface.
Great, thank you. And I don't recall, what was the last time we had a parks tour? Was it earlier this year, Executive Director? Or was that last year?
It was last year, I believe in October, if I remember correctly.
Okay, nice. Maybe we can think, I know we have new commissioners with joining us. So last year we did a parks tour of different parks in development throughout the city, and just seeing kind of how they're coming along. So maybe that's something I can work with the Executive Director or Susie to see how we can plan out a parks tour. It was very fun to be in the van and be driven around and kind of see, get an update. The pictures are great, and please continue to provide us with pictures. So then that way, we can acknowledge and just be aware of what's happening. That's all I have, the questions I have.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you all.
One quick comment
of course.
to your rock formation. It's been around for quite some time because my boys were our family. One of my favorite family pictures is on that. But it's up there. But I guess you learn how to fall and get up.
It's a little scary, yeah. We will now close the meeting with commissioner comments. So now's the time for. We usually start off with the commissioner comments, so I'll go there first. So now this is the time for commissioner comments. You don't necessarily have to make any commissioner comments, but we'll go ahead and start off with Commissioner Reyes. Do you have any commissioner comments?
Not at this time.
Commissioner Jogwe, do we have any commissioner comments?
Happy to be here, excited to help, and nothing else at this moment. So thanks everybody for having me.
Commissioner Wu?
Yes, I was glad to know that we have a priority list and that I could add it on to at El Salvador Park. They're going to be doing what is it? A splash pad. I also would love to have a sunshade in the patio area so the family members can watch the splash pad and itself. So if you would put that on your list, I would really appreciate it. And I do appreciate all the new improvements at El Salvador Park. And I do, one of my favorite things is always, of course, as you know, is the concert and the movie nights, because I really like to promote family events. It's part of it in the community because a lot of us couldn't afford to go to Disneyland every week. And you need programs that are close by and bring music, and the diversity that you had was very good too in the movies and all the services and fun things that you did with too, and your staff did very well. So I was very impressed. And like I said, I like all the improvements, and I can hardly wait for Memorial Park and go to their grand opening and seeing the improvement, because that park has been there for a long time. And also another favorite park is Santiago Park. It's one of my childhood parks. That and Hard Park across the street. If I can go from one to the other would be really great. So I know there could be, but we'll work on that. And so that's one of the things I like to see too. So thank you very much, Park and Rec staff. You're doing a great job. Thank you. Oh, do you want me to mention? Oh, also my Artesia Pilar neighborhood is having an unveiling of a mural that was built in that was painted in the 1990s. And that's the date's going to be September the 7th from 11 to 3 o'clock. We're going to provide some vendors and some music and the neighborhood family fun too. So I hope to see you members here. Thank you.
Commissioner Nelson? Any commissioner comments?
Yes, I just need some clarity. For previous meeting, we discussed some of the pricing and then also for reservations and all that. One of the questions I had is clarity regarding the police requirement at the bowl. I know each guess renter of the facility may have different requirements. Specifically to Santa Ana High School, they're kind of being double dipped as far as they have to have their own police staff from the school district. And then also DSOs as well. So, and then they're also getting tagged with having to have Santa Ana PD. So it's kind of a, being hit from multiple. I know Mater Dei doesn't have their own police staff. So wondering how we can help kind of
We can,
clarity
it's
on that.
something we can definitely bring up at possibly our TAC meeting and with the superintendent and city manager. But like I said, at Santa Ana Bowl, one of our requirements is since it is city property, we do have Santa Ana PD and they have a formula of how many, police officers to have. But that's something we can, go and talk to with the superintendent and city manager.
Yeah, because it adds about $3,000 per event with staffing and everything. So one way or the other, if we can get the school board or the school district to relinquish their requirements and only have Santa Ana PD, the only benefit of having school PD is they obviously know the students and the requirements that are there kind of with that specifically. So
Sure, I'll look into it and we'll get you some information on that.
with football season upon us, it's they play tomorrow night. So appreciate it.
Commissioner Diaz, any commissioner comments?
First of all, sorry, I came in here, it's like my throat started hurting. I was like, what's this? And it's so cold in here. I don't know how you guys can handle it. But I wanted to say thank you for all the events that you guys are putting together. Even though the Chicano Heritage, it was really hot. I think it was very successful and the kids were having a lot of fun. Perhaps maybe next year, if it's this hot, you can add some mist, like water mist, just so it could get a little bit of refreshed. And all your events are wonderful. I really appreciate all the effort that you guys put in working on this. And also thank you for opening it for the volunteers for the team that now in high schools they're required volunteer hours. I think there's like 80 volunteer hours per year. So by you opening the teenagers to come and volunteer in some of your events, that's very helpful. And I really appreciate you taking all the comments from the community when you put together let's say for the park, for Memorial Park, and you invite the community, and I really appreciate that all the community input, it's added as I can see with the Memorial Park, you guys, listening to the community that they wanted a gym. That really, it feels like connection with the community and city staff, and I appreciate all your work. Thank you.
Vice Chair Zacarias Torres, do you have any commissioner comments?
I just wanted to say that the city did a really good job with the Chicano Heritage event. I saw a lot of families out, so it was really good seeing an event that the whole family can come out to. And a lot of families were walking back and forth, so it was really good to see that people are walking over and they're bringing all of their family. And I think it's a good way to bring up that we need to have more events in our parks. We need to actually be in our parks. And then I drove by the Gerardo Moet Park and it's coming along really good. I'm really looking forward to the ribbon cutting, and hopefully the ribbon cutting event can be during hours that are really good for the community so that the community can attend. Because a lot of the times we have ribbon cutting events and it's mostly city staff. And I think that we should celebrate these events with the residents. That's all of my comments. Thank you.
I just want to thank Parks and Rec staff for an amazing month, the previous month. And I think you all are doing so great. I want to welcome Commissioner Jagwe for joining us in the Parks and Recs Commission. This is a time to, be out in the community, do all the fun stuff, attend all the fun stuff that Parks and Recs is doing, and then, talk to the residents. And I know you mentioned like the vendors issue, and you just bring those here to the commission and ask questions of staff to provide feedback and direction. So thank you for your commitment and time to serve on this commission. And I also want to thank Recording Secretary for joining us again and being very great on the agenda and providing excellent notes for the meeting. So thank you. Those are my commissioner comments. I will then now move over to Executive Director comments. Executive Director, do you have any comments?
Yeah, actually I do. You guys just hear so much stuff that's going on. We kind of forget little bits and parts. Every time we have our parks maintenance team here, you get to see, these three rock stars here, Susie, George, and Mike. But, it was nice, my counterpart and coworker, Nabil, Executive Director of Public Works, he was out here. And, to see Wayne, Mark, Sylvester, Luis, and Forrest, those are the guys, that are on the grounds with us at our events. And, it was nice to see them out there, looking good in their black Nike shirts, inspired by Parks and Rec, apparently. So, that was great to see that. Want to just, some things we do leave out and, always want to, push is, with our library, our last council meeting, the main library, got passed, so construction's looking to start in September. The outdoor library at Jerome Park, got passed and looking to start in October out there. The main library taking about 16, 18 months, but at the same time, the Jerome will be in 7-8 months. So, that's great to see and really happy for them. Last Saturday, we had our Zoofari out at the Santa Ana Zoo, which is our annual fundraiser gala out there. The theme was Port of Call. Broke records again. We raised over 120,000, which is a new high. For previous last year, it was a little over 100. So, the Kat Decker and the Flozas team, Ethan Fisher and his team, did a wonderful job. And, as that thing continues to grow, we're going to find ways to, start inviting you guys out there, to start inviting our youth commissioners out there to get you all more involved, because it's something we can do together. And of course, with you guys, Roberto, invite you back to Brew at the Zoo, on your best behavior. So, again, it's just things we're doing out there. The butterfly exhibit will be ending in September out there. So just want to put it out there so you guys can let your, ward know. It's been really great. The zoo has put up record numbers all year. Attendance has been high, revenue has been great. And if you guys have been out to the zoo lately, you'll see a new sign out there saying we're about the ABC just put the notice that we will soon be serving alcohol out there. So we're going to be looking to serve alcohol out there and maybe even doing some adult nights out there, as in other zoos, stuff like that. Wanted to, I know Tim was talking about the youth and teens, and, we got an email today, or no, the other day, from one of our coworkers, and I just want to, give a shout out to Miss Sarah Baird, talking about her youth teens shout out impressions program, which involves, I'll just read a little bit. It was led by one of our coworkers, Vian Tran. We began a new program where we are partnering with our senior services to create a teen senior pen pal program to foster intergenerational connections. Teens and seniors pen pals will exchange letters once a month with the small gifts and or crafts while getting to know each other. The program will accumulate in February with a senior prom, which we're really excited about. So just want to, put a shout to that of some of the great work that, Tim does and his coworkers and all we do. So it was great to see that. And then moving on to something we are all very proud of. Not everybody might know this. I know Tim does, but one of our coworkers, Elena Martinez was just elected president of the WILS Gamma chapter here in Orange County. Well, you guys, what is that? So it is called the Women and Leisure Services, and it is a national organization for professional women involved in delivery of leisure and community service in the public, private, and commercial settings. So we are so proud that she was elected president of our local chapter here. So just want to give her a shout out. She does such amazing things. She's part of our special events team. And then just to reiterate, some of the events coming up, we got the Chicano Heritage Educational Celebration of Education, with the library. So we hope you guys do attend that, which will be Thursday, August 29th from 4 to 7:30 out here at the Santa Ana City Hall courtyard. And as Deputy Director Pagano mentioned, our Fiestas Patrias, September 14th and 15th, with a parade and grito happening on Sunday. I'm gonna tell you right now, the parade's gonna be monster. It's gonna be great. The participation, the signups, it's surpassed last year's. So we're really excited for that. So, make plans to be a part of it. And also, Miss Sylvia, I know you're getting ready for this one, our International Older Adult Celebration. I am putting this one on here. We will have a Parks and Rec Commission meeting the day before, so just want to make sure put on that. Last year we had about over 350, 400, and this is just for seniors. So y'all can't participate. I'm sorry, y'all are too young. So again, it's targeted at them. It's for them. We give them. It's great to get them out there dancing and them acting like kids again, when they're youth and they're young and they're adults. So it's a lot of fun. So we will invite you all out there though, because that's something we have to do, and you guys have been seeing that. I know at Ruby, thank you for being a part of a lot of our events lately and going up on stage. And last but not least, we did have our Youth Commission first meeting in person. We have 6 of the 7, so we are so excited about that. They have been out in the parks. I know some of you guys that have come out to the parks have seen them and met them, so it's a great bunch. Other than that, thank you all for your support. Thank you to my team here and my coworkers, and of course, behind the scenes, Hiram Uribe back here and Hannah over there. Very thankful for them to do what we do. So again, thank you all for support, and that is my comments.
Great. Thank you so much, Executive Director. That concludes our Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission. The next Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 26th, here in the City Council chambers at 5:30 p.m. I hereby adjourn this meeting at 7:22.